Welcome to Learning Unit number 9. In this learning unit, we're going to be talking about group number 3, which is injuries. So let's step back. So we know that the burden of disease studies place causes of death and dailies into 3 groupings. Our first group we've already spoken about is communicable diseases. Our second group is non-communicable diseases, NCDs. And now our third group is injuries. So within this group 3, we have both intentional and unintentional injuries. So typically when we think about unintentional injuries, we think about those that happen in automobile accidents, plane crashes, those kind of things. Those are unintentional injuries. Intentional injuries are those from self-harm, interpersonal violence, conflict, and terrorism. We're seeing that right now in other parts of the world for sure. The focus of this unit is going to be on those unintentional, also called accidental injuries, and that includes poisonings, firearm deaths in children, falls, fires, drowning, and road injuries. The leading cause of both deaths and dailies attributable to injuries is road traffic accidents. Now that's in adults. Our statistics have now changed for children. So risk factors for road injuries revolve around education, enforcement, and engineering. And you think, well, we're talking about unintentional injuries. How does that revolve around education, enforcement, and engineering? We're going to look further at that, and you'll better be able to explain that by reading your Skolnick textbook. So we're going to look at the burden of these injuries by the World Bank region, World Bank country, income group, age, and gender. We're going to do that in our readings again. And we're going to end our unit with review of a case study on Vietnam motorcycle helmet laws, and then look at our own country's motorcycle helmet laws, that if you don't know, they vary from state to state. So at the end of the learning unit, you're going to better understand the global impact of unintentional injuries and know the most common causes and categories of both intentional and unintentional injuries. And we're going to really be more well-informed about motorcycle helmet laws and how they impact on the burden of road injuries in other countries of the world and in our country by state. So you're reading chapter 15 of Skolnick, and you're going to be completing quiz 9, which is based on that chapter, and doing your discussion board post and replies. So again, you're watching this video, you have your book that you're reading. The quiz is going to be, you need to take it in one sitting, and it will be maxed out at 45 minutes. So have your book available. There's nothing wrong with that, because there are a few questions requiring you to really look up and re-look up the information from some of the tables. The first article is one that just came out in this month, and it is about firearm deaths in children. And now accidental firearm deaths in children is the #1 cause of accidental deaths of kids under 18 in the U.S. So it showed how you can read it, but it's going to speak to how the number of injuries have gone up dramatically in the last couple of years. Firearm deaths have gone up like 87%, whereas traffic injuries and traffic deaths in children have gone down about 50%. So please know this, data is always changing based in part upon law. Then we're going to focus more in as far as motorcycle traffic fatalities. Now, this is the last, and I meant to say 2023. This is the most recent data that we have, and it is 2018 data, but that's the most recent that was published by the GHSA. You're going to want to read a little bit more in depth about the Pennsylvania motorcycle helmet law. And then if you live outside of Pennsylvania, New York, whatever state you may come from, there's a nice interactive map that you can at least look at. What are the state laws in my state? And you might want to check out some other states as well. So discussion board 9 is asking you to read the case study in your Skolnick text about Vietnam motorcycle helmets and helmet law. And then you're going to want to look at the information above, the traffic fatalities by state. And I want you to then describe the impact of Resolution 32, initiatives surrounding its implementation in Vietnam. And again, that is on pages 466 to 467 of your Skolnick text. And describe the current motorcycle helmet laws in the U.S. And the impact of these laws on deaths from motorcycle accidents. And then please speak to the specific laws in your home state. So you're going to best explain what does it mean with no law, partial law, or universal law, because state by state, there might be a difference. Some states have no laws regarding motorcycle helmet, others partial, others universal. So I want you to explain that and then speak to the laws in your home state. So I hope you have a wonderful week and know that we really are focusing on unintentional injuries, and that article about children fatalities from firearm injuries is pretty eye-opening and really shows the importance of having guns locked, having ammunition for guns in separate areas, and just safeguarding our children and our children's friends who enter our home.